Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the AMX 13F3AM. It's the Tier 6 French SPG. This one's located on the south spawn of Prokhorovka, and it's under the command of apgibbo of FILO. And that's first in and last out.
I appreciate it.
Game on! Okay, it's a 155mm howitzer mounted on a body that previously would have been in an AMX 13-ton tank. They actually made 621 of these. They started development in 1959, started building them in 1962, and stopped making them in 1997. It was sold all over the world. Argentina, Cyprus, Ecuador, Kuwait, Morocco, Qatar, UAE, Sudan, Chile, Peru, Venezuela, and of course France. So there's plenty of them around. It's also one of the lightest 155mm Artys in the world. It was actually built to replace the Gorilla, the M41 HMC, which of course the Americans gave to the French after the Second World War. Well, number of targets in sight, and he's dialing in on that T-34-85. This version of the game was actually the 1.25.1, so there's none of the new skills in there. So this is a game from a little while ago. I did promise that this replay was on the way. Now it's capable of doing 630 alpha with the standard HE, 39mm of pen, 7.6 meters on the burst radius, between 11 and 22 seconds of stun. He's looking towards the center. Of course, the enemy tanks have gone unspotted. A Skoda T25 was hanging around there. He might be better off going for that Striv 74 on the west side, because I think he's in the sniping nest. And I don't think he'll move out of it, because of course he wants as much spotting as he can. Okay, we are looking there, but the CDT keeps popping up. Oh, and we've got an aircraft crashing. In fact, it's a bomber. And it's crashing right now. CDT. Okay, round south. That's a direct hit. 216 hit points from the first shell. Now, the non-stun HE on this one is capable of 770 alpha, 49mm of penetration, but only 4 meters on the burst radius. So you have to get the shell near the target in order to make a difference. With the high explosive anti-tank, you can do 420 alpha, but you've got 194mm of penetration. And somebody just got a penetrating shot there. I suspect that might be the FV304. He's parked himself at the bottom of the hill and he's firing up onto it. So any enemy tanks that are up here, you stay in the position so they're going forwards and backwards. They're just going to make themselves an easy target. Whereas we're firing in at a side, and that's a direct hit as well. Of course, as you may know, no explosion means you definitely hit the target. And you can see he's always missing a lot of hit points, and we are getting stun assist off him as well. He's a one-shot now, so the next shell that hits him will more than likely take him out of the game. In fact, you could probably land an HE round next to him and he'd go out the game. In fact, he did. He has been wiped out. So, first kill for apgibbo. Now, a T-34-85's decided to park himself right next door to that crash bomber. He thinks that's rather good cover. Actually, it's probably not. In fact, we can see that Striv 74 up there now. Yes, that's the other shell from our other teammate. Actually, it wasn't. It was our shell. I'm beginning to look at that now. I will probably replay it at the end of the game. Okay, going for the T-34-85 round south. Yes, he did get hit this time. 164. Well, we've just spotted a T-52 hanging around inside the bowl. And whilst he's doing that, he's actually stationary to try and get accurate shots. Of course, that's not a good idea if you're a little light tank like that, because you are vulnerable. There he is. He's stopped. And what's he going to do next? Well, if he starts moving, try and line that shot up ahead of him. Yep, that's how you do it. Wait for him to drive through the aim point, and just as he does, you let loose and the shell goes into him and does a lot of damage. Well, the T-3485 is still there. Unfortunately, at the moment, if we landed a shell near him, that it's going to damage the... well, it's not going to damage anything, actually. It'll just stun the guy. It looks like the Striv 74 has been taken out, though. That might have been by one of the mediums we've got in the middle of the field. Okay, our guys are moving up on the east side of the map now. Okay, they've got a Juno. Not dialed in, but the TOG makes a very interesting target. apgibbo's moving his reticule about quite a lot, but he is fully dialed in now. Rounds out. Landed just in front of the TOG. Too far away to actually do any stun damage. Oh, that tank just took a hit. The Juno just got direct hit. And now we've got a crocodile in the bowl. Now, can we get a shot onto this? Should be able to. He's going almost straight forward and backwards. And we just saw a shell come out of the crocodile. In fact, it's not the crocodile, it's the Burt on the enemy team. Line up the shot ahead of his path. That's it. Well, he got splashed and the shell went to the right. But you can see the Burt is sitting there almost with impunity. Or he thinks he's safe. He's not. He's very unsafe. Come on, guys. Okay. That's good. Rounds out. That's a direct hit. 84. But I think it was landing on the tracks. That's why it didn't do a huge amount of damage. He's changed position just slightly to avoid counter battery. Of course, the Burt is now within range of him, so if he did get exposed, he would be in trouble. Pretty sure the Burt's still there. The crocodile, he's about to go. Rounds out.
Enemy vehicle destroyed.
Okay, now we can deal with that Burt. He just killed our VK360-1H, but the 5916, yep, finishes him off for us. Now, over on the other side of the battlefield, the TOG 2 is still there. And we're still reloading. We can dial in as we're doing that. TOG's not going to move very far. And it looks like the FB304 is the last member of our team on that side of the battlefield. So not good for our guys. Not sure why he fired that shell in. I think the TOG would have been on the land next to where the wreck of the Juno is. Or is that the wreck of the Juno? No, I think that may be one of our guys. Okay, our team are now moving forward on the west side of the map, so we can move forward ourselves and try and get closer to the enemy cap. That'll force their team to leave and come back on the east side of the map. Our FB304's made it back to our cap area, but we really need to move and move fast going to the north. You can see the Burt's doing the same, and he's following the 5916. Now, I think I understand why apgibbo is staying behind, because he thinks that, yes, he's actually better off trying to defend against the enemy tanks when they arrive at our cap area, but actually he's better off moving forward because there are enemy tanks still at the other end of the map, and we've got a bit of a splash on the SU-8. Now, can we get another round in? Looks like our Burt is firing from the center line. he switch targets to the Juno on the on the east side again? No, just let it dial in on the H8, and if he goes down, stay at the railway crossing. These guys are going to have to come up to the railway crossing to get across. And he got a kill on the Juno. But that Achilles is just the other side of the railway crossing. There's no Arty left on the enemy team to counter battery us, so he doesn't have to worry about that. He's still worried that an enemy tank is headed south. I don't think that's going to happen. There's only 3 enemy tanks left alive in the game. They're all up in the north near their cap area. So it will actually help us to get closer to the enemy so that we can get quicker shots on them and more accurate hits. Yes, I think he needs to move. Head north. Even if he just arrives at where the bomber is located or was located, that would be good enough. But he's several seconds flight time for the shells at this point. He's looking into the village at the moment, and that's only 2 seconds flight time for the shells. The T-34-85M's just about to find the Achilles, and he's found him way over on the other side. The TOG is now about to cross the railway crossing. And here it's 2.8 seconds for the shell to fly to this point. So you can see it's a big delay. That was the Burt firing in. Rounds out. Well, that hit him in the rear and it's tracked him. So we'll get tracking damage now. In fact, actually, we're getting stun damage. TOG's going to go down next shot. And that leaves now just 1 enemy tank, the T-34-85M. And he's come to try and get us. So we get a shotgun, but that's probably going to be the end of our game because he can reload us. Now, if apgibbo had gone north, that wouldn't have happened. At this moment, he would actually be sitting closer to the enemy camp and possibly even in it, leaving it up to his teammates to take out the remaining enemy. These experiences actually do teach us a lesson about tactics. It did actually help for him to actually move closer to the enemy to get more accurate shots. It also would have protected him from that T-34-85M, who obviously thought, well, there is an enemy Arty out there that I can kill, and I'll go for that one. The Basotto's the one who's actually going in. He's found him. And the T-34-85M will probably get the kill. And he does, and that's the end of the game. Here's the end of battle stats, and that's the first class tank for apgibbo of FILO in the AMX 13F3. He managed to get a first mark of excellence out of that game, as well as a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 10, and he got a Confederate hitting more of the enemy than anyone else on his team, despite the fact that he actually killed 3 of the enemy team as well. His win rate was 4,149, but sadly he did die because he didn't move. He didn't use his W key. And the thing is, it's very important towards the end of a battle to get closer to the enemy by actually moving towards them so that you can shorten the flight time for the shell. But it actually can be safer for you as well to stay near your teammates, because if the enemy suddenly shows up to try and kill you, he's got to deal with your next door neighbor who might happen to have a gun that can fire faster than he can. And yes, so it does protect you in the long run as well. Anyway, let's have a look at team score. Well, he didn't get the a high caliber, but he did get the highest damage in the game. 1,984 hit points of damage went to apgibbo. Second highest damage actually went to the T-3485M on his team, who actually got the final kill. He got 1,916, as well as the same guy on the enemy team. In fact, I think that was the Crocodile who got 1,916 hit points of damage. So joint third, or that's joint second rather, third place actually goes to the enemy Arty, the SU8, who managed 1,817 hit points of damage. When it came to kills, he got the top on that as well, but he had to share it with a number of other tanks. apgibbo got 3 kills, so did the T-3485M, he got a tank sniper, and so did the 5916, who actually picked up a Pascucci's medal, so he got both enemy SPGs. Their FV304, and I think the other one was the SU8, yes. And when it came to the enemy team, their SU8 and their T-3485M, that's the one who killed Gibbo, and he got 3 kills as well. So when it came to base XP, we can see that the top scorer was 5916, who got 1,105. 1,008 went to the T-3485M. They were the only two who managed to make it over 1,000 base. And we can see apgibbo got third place with 956. He only fired 17 rounds, which is quite a lot really. He got 10 direct hits, no penetrations, but 14 splash. 1,984 hit points of damage, of which 1,751 were at more than 300 meters. He received 2 hits, one of which was a penetration, and 1 hit by way of splash, and unfortunately he was out of the game. 9 enemy vehicles were damaged, 3 were killed, and he got 1,279 hit points of stun assist off 12 stuns. He actually played on a free-to-play account and made a small loss of 3,320 credits, but he did get 956 base XP out of the game as well. And of course, he's taken away his first mark of excellence, and he's now working on his second, if he hasn't got it already, because this replay actually came back to the beginning of August. Anyway, it's not the first replay that we've actually got. We've got another one for you to watch, so let's have a look at that one. In the second replay, we have Chickens 1003 of the Arty clan.
Your assistance has been requested.
And he's also in an AMX 13 F3 AM, and he also has his first mark of excellence. This is an encounter game.
We may be from the sewers, but that doesn't mean we can't rule the battlefield too.
Well, it sounds like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. Okay, he's making his way down to this corner. On this particular game, actually hanging around this corner can actually be beneficial. Oh, now he did knock a few trees down, but he's gone to the aim, and there's plenty of targets for him to aim at. First one likely to receive the shell is the Porlak if he stays where he is. Yep. 273 from the first shot. He's actually using the non-stun HE, which is capable of 770 Alpha. Wow, one of the enemy arties has just been wiped out by our Fifi. From one end of the map, he's actually managed to get close to the other end of the map and just killed the enemy arty near the spawn point. Oh, lovely shot on the CDT.
Stab.
You can see that Panzerachtenteisignur Art was putting away as rather rapidly. I think he took a beating and didn't want to stick around. You can see how far away that target was. The enemy arty was a long way away. Okay, M8A1. These should go bang very easily if he gets a direct hit. Rounds out. Yep, lovely shot. Good hit. Second kill. So he's got half the kills that the team's earned so far. And that Porlak is probably still sitting on that corner. Although we've got nobody to spot him at the moment. P2640, but we can hit the KV-1. That's for certain. Okay, line it up. And he fires. Gets the rear. 336. That was a good shot. Changing the angle altogether. Now the problem here is that he's gone very, very close to the enemy front line, and that might get him spotted if somebody was looking in this direction. Luckily, there's no light tanks on this side of the map now for the enemy. And the Porlak tank takes a hit. So he wasn't spotted because, in fact, it looks like the enemy's lost their Panzer 38 Signal Art because he's no longer on the game list. Yes, he did get taken out. Both enemy Arties have been wiped out now. Just looking at the back, I can see both of the wrecks. Going for the Matilda, rounds out. Accurate shot. In fact, potentially now a high caliber. That's 20% of the enemy hit points accumulated by chickens. The question is, will he be able to keep that up? Well, the Porlak tank's still there, but we've got an AFK, an A20, sitting at the back near the spawn point, and so we're going to finish him off. In fact, it's the only light tank the enemy has. And he gets him with one shot, so that's 3 kills now for chickens. The Matilda's come back for some more. You can see the shot actually hit the side of the turret. Okay, can we get another hit? It's not loaded yet. Oh, the Matilda goes down. But that's it. The game's over. It's all... That's it. They've killed them all. I had the feeling that the rest of Chicken's team could actually see how many kills he was getting, and they were getting rather jealous because towards the end of the game, it all dissolved very quickly for the enemy team. He got a second-class tanker in that battle, as well as a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he managed to get 9, I think, here. And he got a Gauze medal for doing more damage, exceeding 8 times the hit points for his own vehicle. And he did get the high caliber in the end for doing the most damage, at least 20% of the enemy hit pool. His win rate in this game, 5,473, which is Super Unicum standard. Let's have a look at the team score. Well, see, he also got the same highest damage, but he actually got the medal because it was 20%, whereas apgibbo tried to get the highest damage. Well, he did get the highest damage, he just didn't get the 20% he needed. 2,460 hit points went to chickens. Second highest was the Fifi on his team, managed 1,144. And he did very well to get that early kill on one of the enemy Arty. I think he was probably counter-batterying straight from the start. And the third highest damage, well, that turned out to be the KV-1 on the enemy team with 1,180. When it came to kills, the highest scorer, well, it's chickens again. And the other Fifi also, well, the Fifi on the team, managed to get 3 kills as well. In second place, the M10 RBFM and the T1 Heavy got 2 kills apiece, and only 4 players on the enemy team actually managed to get kills in that game. When it came to base XP, he's got that as well. So he's got the top in all 3 columns this time. 744 went to chickens, 702 went to the ARL 44, and 683 went to the VK3001P. He fired only 7 rounds in this game. So, yes, a lot of damage, but he did let those shells dial in very, very well. He got 7 direct hits on the enemy, 2 of them penetrated and 5 splash. Damage of 2,460, all of it at more than 300 meters. He damaged 6 of the enemy, killed 3 of them, didn't get any stun assist at all, but he did use some of the non-stun HE to actually multiply the amount of damage he was doing to each hit. He also took away a profit on a free-to-play account of 35,100 credits from that game. And he also took away 3,720 experience points on a ×5 day. So a very good result. Let's have a look and see which ones he managed to penetrate. Well, the M8A1, I think that was an obvious. He just got 1 hit, and that completely overwhelmed him. He had to let it dial in, and he must have been afraid that the guy was going to move at any moment. But he just sat there and took the round, and yes, it blew him to pieces. The CDT, although he didn't actually penetrate that guy, he did whack him with a huge round and took him out as he was trying to come over the top. The other tank, of course, he took out with 1 round was the A20, who was sitting back at the cap, the one who was an AFK. And yes, 1 round saw to him as well. So did he penetrate the Porlac? No, he didn't penetrate the Porlac, but he did get a lot of damage. And I think it was only 2. Yes, it was only 2 penetrating shots that he managed to get. But that was a good game all the same. Indeed, it was actually a very short game, only 4 minutes long, but the enemy did get 4 kills, so it's not a 15-0 win, but it's still a decent win all the same. We did lose 4 tanks, yes, unfortunately. So, 2 great games in the AMX 13 F3. If you enjoyed those replays, please give this video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm, and thank you for watching.